All right, so let's finally look at the PulseChain ecosystem prices now after that little rant. Let's take a visit back to our poll. When does Pulse get back to sacrifice rate? Right now, the leader, okay, so everything just went the complete opposite direction since the show began as we got a bigger sample size. 50% of the voters say the fall of this year, October to December of this year. I'm so gun shy of being bullish anymore that I don't even like to utter these words, but I do tend to agree with that. I think that we will see that then, because it's always darkest before dawn, and it's pretty goddamn dark. I mean, honestly, I don't feel that dark about the PulseChain ecosystem, but the crypto sentiment, especially towards like ETH right now, is so dark. So I think that we're getting very, very close. January to April of 25 has the second amount, which makes sense. And then it's funny, like after that, people just basically give up. So then the next group is the final quarter of 2025. And then the fewest is the mid quarter of 2025. So interesting for sure. People basically, the overwhelming majority think by spring of 25, we'll be back there, which, I mean, isn't really going on way too much of a limb. So
hope so too.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the prices. So we got Pulse right now at basically all-time lows. If you want to buy the lows of PulseChain, or you're pissed because of how your sacrifice went, you haven't been DCAing all this time. If you still believe in it, it's something that you would buy like a 6x or so by now. From now, I would want to be buying it now. So if you believe in it and it's something that you want to buy and you believe in DeFi and what Richard Hart's plans are and things like that, I'd get into it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I definitely am. So yeah, we got Pulse at 4 zeros and a 3.476. Dipped a little bit today. Pulse X, which has been losing ground a little bit. I mean, it's been so strong against Pulse, but it's been losing a little bit of ground the last few days. It's at 4 zeros and a 178. We have incentive at $1.69 nice cents. We have Hex continuing to just like get near its all-time low on PulseChain, 00428. And EHEX, I think there was a big seller I saw yesterday of EHEX at some point. Imagine that. I've never heard of that before. At 00112 right now. So, yeah, things are down there. You may notice, if you remembered being at these numbers roughly a year ago in this ecosystem, that your portfolio may be higher in value, though. And that may be because of the Pulse X ratio closing the gap, or because you DCA'd along the way, or maybe you did short hex stakes, or whatever it may be, earned ink, whatever it is. But congrats to you if your portfolio is much higher today than it was a year ago at these prices. So, yeah, what do you make of where we're at? If you want to pull up the chart, we can look at that as well. RBTC says this chain is dead. I've never heard that one before. Yeah, so we'll kind of take a look. And one thing, that people aren't talking about enough, and especially, I mean, this is also because Ethereum is, ETH is very dark. You're right, more hex. This is what I was just going to say. We are seeing Pulse start to curl up against ETH. So that's the biggest thing. Pulse against USD is one thing. I mean, we're seeing consolidation and kind of doing a double bottom here, but the curl up against ETH is what I'm really interested in also. So what do you make of kind of where we're at, Ewok?
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottoms. We've touched, within this range, even though this one was just a wick back here in August. Clear bottom, another bottom. So, we're at 4 touches here. If it doesn't do something, I mean, if it doesn't break through this, that it's a great sign, right? I mean, if we still find support here, it's a great sign, because when you start tapping a line over and over and over again, eventually it's going to break through it. There's something to be said for us holding this level. So, I don't know if it's limit orders. I don't know if there's a benevolent whale out there that's protecting this price. But it's bullish. I mean, even though we are at these lows, there is definitely something bullish about that, about tapping it that many times and not breaking through it. So,
as long as we don't, like you said.
As long as we don't. But I mean, that doesn't mean we can't. It could go even lower. I hate like hell to lose another 0, but I don't think we've been any lower than 4 zeros and a
3 or so. Oh, I don't really.
This green candle started back here. Is what I'm looking at. The very first candle is where it started.
Oh,
on one of the very first purchases. But I mean, you're looking at these lows. The very low is 334, 4 zeros, 3340.
Yeah.
So, and we've tapped that 3 times. So,
I mean, we basically are there right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're close, but
In terms of buying, just to put it in perspective. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. If you're looking at picking up a good deal and a very, what I think is very undervalued tokens, this is definitely the spot you want to be in. And yeah, again, it's just all down, except it keeps bouncing off that level. So